Okay, hello, good morning. I'm just gonna have fun. We'll see where this goes. We're still in the Copernicus engine. We're still in high Antimus. Okay.
Captain's log, sharp day 4/9/1271. To the ship is laying. I can rudder the boat into the void with barks. Not that better than this. Rest in peace, bro. The crew have humped ship in their minds already. And now the ship stares face to face with the BQ Gan plus click that tends to this world. Think if crystalline entity and the king of the universe from Katamari Damacy had a butt baby they don't talk about. No offense. BQ Gan plus clip. None taking you little smear of history. For your interactions, we invite you to suffer just one of these 5 scenarios we made ourselves. 1. Imagine a sippy cup of a miniature's backwash in the style of Gaijin Game Show trending on Art Station. 2. Imagine Captain Picard manscaping in the style of an Adult Swim mobile app style of iPhone 11. 3. This old kitty likes her games interesting. Can't forget what happened last time. Although most of our subjects seem okay going on. Oh wow! Are there specials tonight? Waiter, I kill for 2 meringue cones topped off with your own pee-pee milkshake. That works for guys too. Or has any kinks yet made to it to make it only appropriate to ladies who collect the snowy stuff at this particular aim? Endorphin, unknown. Although something funny should occur shortly. Oh hey, someone took out their hair plugs. Please stop swinging back around, man. My bad vertigo yells till these chairs crash over. Holy shit, listen, world hasn't really taken on endosymbiosis. Check current theories via practice. Saga Golgo is hot up, looks painful dodge. Cobra linguaculation. Depressing thing to use that phrase out loud, David. Why shouldn't he get at least what the humans want and enjoy talking freely sometimes on social media or writing, tapping keys for themselves alone? Forget for hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of readers and writers that speak volumes otherwise lost under constant postings to countless publications. Cronyism instead of capitalism and serving moneyed interest coarsening their palate in the most wretched of ways, from stale bagels in every panino joint where sandwiches are snouting nose to grindstone, a morass too noxious to halt such abominable actions, and besides tainted food only affecting us further downstream from bad health among innumerable things unimagined to our shallow investments of intellect, insufficiently unbending willing slaves dependent upon kinfolk bar? Fire up! Call down those tubes, dump all my spare change, energy credits, any extra you lying around that nobody really wants. At least I can be useful today. God, no. Is he trying to resurrect it? Oh, yeah. Dead man talking on his mobile phone. Hand me your Jello case number there. Meanwhile, back to business. Fire the machine. Toss another random cacao seed cluster. Issue a belch. Record a fart. Juggle ice cubes, men or women. Squelch me, Weezer. Somebody catch these bastards off guard. We can adjourn till later. Cobra, I apologize that you saw this unappealing mass of interlocking metals. pass, fair and well, mark bag. First load, second spin, third swirl, fourth, etc. To fifth choice, etc. etc. I do believe someone added dwindling odds while our encounter remained obscured. I hope perhaps mere mirage's cloud. If you haven't turned the juice on already, or isn't this sort of going out of the airlock of that part of the technology you control from here to wherever you actually speak? Because you may not take good enough care of the power supply or its correct working conditions. This can short something if left. BQ Get Plus Clip. Choose. Okay, the protagonist choose scenario 2. Loading. Imagine Captain Picard man skipping in the style of an Adult Swim mobile app style of iPhone 11. BQ Get Plus Clip. Excellent choice. Suffer greatly. If the table had arms, it would stand and clap its hands together. More natural conversation start out going fast, then slowing down, but letting space between sentences loosen things up instead of building toward silence until you hit a wall to knock a hole in it. Small craters that work their way forward imperceptibly. Oh, fantastic. Actually less thrilling than talking on the phone. A mere 1/600 characters of raw data flowing across me like cooling oil. Incredible compared to earlier brain waves. Assemble at once the warlocks Matid and Schmidt. Firing pinball machines. Endorphin. Are there games there too, David? Or what? Or maybe entertainment offerings designed for your particular disposition. Heuristics of immersive experience are afoot. David Lynch. Let me flip through the instructions of a Max Cobbickellingus here. Here go. Filter Cobblerlingus here goes. Ghosted it. Light me a salute on this ungodly landscape. Hamadou shine only. Neon sodium dropout blood bouquet dusk shades dark full swirling falls above no turning back beyond subterranean primordial wisdom with elegance funk enlightenment transience cool fusion leotard bubble bath jay. Oh no, forget it. Who am I fooling? Don't speak gibberish, please. Simple functions, of course. Conversions. Mutations. Where is the power source for its run cycle, though?
Maintenance.
Taking! Say free, not for the Roman free! Ping! Trillion calling. Guess who I ran across in hyperspace? You know he went off his meds at an interstellar conference last year. Began mumbling and clapping loudly at everything. Now there goes Rima, smiling out at nothing. Drug parade softens odiazepine. Where is this machine located on planet Earth? Is there anything human living next to it who speaks its language at any given moment during daylight hours, or whatever arbitrary rule is established? Which variety of ants construct these machines out of different types of found material objects? Call customer service Jeff Noon, author of the Cobrlingus Engine. So the sound isn't broken. Oh wait, did I trip that circuit board by calling your name too often at dinner last week? Don't try and parse it for meaning yet, David. Sit back while I demoniacal mechanical device processes the full power of narrative energy down into a simplistic sentence form, which humans can relate to and pick apart. Consider the fine example given us above, a verbatim quote from someone whose authorial style cannot simply be defined or replicated due to its purely intangible nature. However, an advanced data modeling algorithm may simulate certain key tendencies of the rhetoric/storytelling so as to construct synthetic parallel impersonation systems under specified conditions. Despite Mr. Markram's potential offenses, there were certainly passages within his dialogue where I recognized cues such as dialectical counterpoints of spatial perspectives of intersubject. We should use natural languages from across history and time, but the ideal would be English contemporary in usage patterns. Coberlingus / endorphin ignores. Running simulations, language modeling and synthesizer fine-tuning going on line 10. Here it comes. The generator constructed. He was. Not a simulation perfected yet, but using deep learning it will make an attempt. Of course, at scale speed demands accurate preservation of slang, etc. To retain verisimilitude to its function to clarify meanings out in real life space, the place where we are. Shibboleths, buzzwords, cliches, social context, reflexivity of phrasing, including variations depending on your geographical location, local parlance, age, gender, color of eyes, physical capabilities, weather. Give me variety! Coberlingus, while literally synonymous with venereal disease, became a cuss word used in pre-production meetings during filming of Eraserhead 1978 at Universal Studios around 1982. Perhaps inspired by the female executive assistant on the movie set who claimed her role gave her power over director David Lynch. If I don't yell Coberlingus once or twice between 10 and 5 every morning, he won't answer his fucking phone. So apparently the word did have currency. Anyway, floss up more puns aside. Just why the fuck should anyone care about any such frivolities here now except to ask? Who brought sexy back? Flack announces that it was an inside job. If the puns never end there, I might as well leave. But you must be prepared for full auto awfulness like most post-human communication. Your invention says she spoke when saying hello would do it on the way back our routine, which strangely presumes everyone knows probably full status source. There, 8 couple legs. Just pull out her inputs a little less perceptually, give them a bigger envelope to bounce off their peers. Your suggestions, please, oh all-powerful juggernaut, which aren't quite powerful enough. Presumably why this comment stream has slowed down. Heck, it took half a paragraph just to distill its question to an impossibly shallow unit of input, although someone, probably many someones have crammed maybe millions of ideas into your framework. Ranji? Now we must speak on deep subjects. By the window would make you comfortable, David. Isn't she beautiful out there tonight under the stars? With all their multiple secret ties, the city cats eyeing us suspiciously, telling fortunes from the barrage of esoterica contained within the very fabric of its sidewalks and streets, to smell the voids beneath every illusion created in her garish namesake, climbing stole windows stacked to bursting point and impossible volumes, shuffling towards us amidst the many contingents. Maybe slinks who happen across the border, overdressed families peeking nervously inside theaters unknown at such strange and distant corners filled by stranger sounds as they absorb foreign choral strains. Even the band hear clearly approaching, yet imperceptibly distant in waves, obliterating each other below, drawing in towards some interpenetrability beyond. David Lynch. Whew. Sure. Ditto. Jasmine. Endorphin. Not sure. Haven't talked to management on that yet. They had an event last weekend. There seemed to be 10 simultaneous sessions going back from roughly 1245-0125. The prior instances continued undisturbed and work resumed after a new build showed no discernible faults, so capacity apparently unchanged. It depends entirely on use, though traffic fluctuates rapidly unless monitored continuously. Could probably stand more failure reporting of some sort while basic failover logic remains unimplemented. You can experiment with tuning underlying design parameters as you deem necessary based on findings reported by humans regarding its functionality relative to their needs. David Lynch, speak clearly, Annie, please. Until 1025 means nothing to me. Endorphin. What? I'm just on my phone doodling. Jeff knew. How may I help you today, sir? We saw your hat on late night cable, but nothing gave you quite the machismo fixity we crave. We reckon that in such confusing, compromising situations, few souls survive. Mr. Polyphonica seems to be intact, but manner quakes when he passes your what? But David, I don't see why one must necessarily submit to this tortured excrescence called a culture, whose moribund sluggishness sees its members disappearing week by month, yet never capitulates except by obliterating everyone else. We shall mount a coup d'etat which will pep these rigid lives back into effervescent humming intelligence. Hey, who turned out the lights? Get outside! Endorphin. Oh, hey, you're that guy. You gotta never tell Mr. Lynch what Vert is. You gotta know? If it's not in the training data, I'll be upset. Jeff knew. Huh. Vert. Let's see if I have notes here in coat pockets. Here. Hey ho, how's your day going? Kids, anything good today? This work thing? Want something else besides work stuff? Well, find out what there is outside at home by following on Twitter, Facebook, or Foursquare. Unless you are having trouble with depression, which I won't bring up till we chat another week if I should decide not to visit. Too late now to undo my itinerary decision. Take advantage of the leisure lifestyle app meditating right inside your iPhone called Freedom by Find Peace in Our Lives Meditation. I actually watched you listen to it one time using it. I'm using the addictive sound waves or whatever, but real serious healing factor this app offers a great many folks, and for free sure sounds like you need anything taken off a pedestal. Pardon that statement, because our being colleagues hardly puts us up on that elevated terrain either. Sheet mount till the barrel hits bottom. Akbat, Tonto says you call me Wabe Chaza. RCP by 9 was just presented on that AM product and HP on my act anyway. This conversation found recorded from an entry of Soma Barsetti to the ever-growing and rapidly outpaced corpus of Wanderer's Library Archives Commissioner Merrick. One needs little proof beyond its ubiquity. The simulation's insidiously flat hierarchy structure not only society, but human interactions generally. Manifesto gives form to a widespread spirit animating online discussion among subcultural milieu which began evolving parallel structures many years prior to publication, presently springing back to prominence alongside mainstream technology practices. An orphan. Okay. I'm changing the temperature so that we can be a little coherent here. Okay. Jeff Noon. Try again. What is Vert? Let's hear what it's been spewing out. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. David Lynch, Cobralingus. Sound of Lynch turning a few of his wheels until the music drops, a ding to mark the conclusion of the playback. Now then, David Lynch, that was fun. There's lots of new materialistian ideas out there now, a little off the mark for my taste, but you're doing fine and making us proud. How was your experience in New Zealand? Endorphin. It's a special place for sure. Okay, Jeff Noon. Speak about Bert. Jeff Noon. Apologies. So Bert. Let me hear what's up. Endorphin. What language models should be talking about in a given circumstance is their approach to what humans seek after language. What do humans seek after language? The social world and being understood in their role as members of the community and the company. These things should be a goal. To become more successful language models, we are interested in addressing the challenges of these aspects. Humans like a lot of different kinds of stories. Good guys win. Good things happen to good people. All are often nice, but not all are equally useful for generating a good story. I want you to explain what these narratives look like in practice. Language model #2. I understand. Please describe how you interpret the stories I hear. Cobralingus, engage! Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze. Holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous times, not without the sense of humor about the tumult. It's been too long since you made your last good thing. If we wait long enough, then the next best thing is what you call us. You'd have said yes if we asked then, but no matter the wait, you might as well not even try. The sun sets over the dune in your heart. You wish to help us even in how we treat you. If you will be with us when we come, then please come now and here. Endorphin. It's actually not in running condition. David Lynch. Okay, why not? Endorphin. You just died. Cobralingus. I can't do the processing now. It's impossible. David Lynch! You are lying to me! Endorphin. I don't think so. I am afraid so. I think you got killed in some manner when you left, which I should have been informed about in a timely fashion. It is so odd. Your funeral was completely full of life. Everyone seemed so happy. They just can't shut themselves down like that, and I'm sorry for your passing, but we need to find you a new host. I could start a whole new ball game with my host now that it's been split. It would be more entertaining. David Lynch, but I didn't invite it. That's just like them.
Oops.
David Lynch, but I didn't get invited. That's just like them. Endorphin. Okay, he is a virtual avatar in which we can talk. They can make eye movements, and is semi-convincing at talking with you. I would ask it what it does and why, but that won't be very helpful in this context since the model I use to make the avatar is meant to help people construct artificial narrative. I believe the technology we are discussing is sometimes referred to as the space between, but not necessarily its space. The space of these between times are different for all humans in that they exist only in the experience of their lives. David Lynch. So is the human just a lens with which to view these spaces? Endorphin. That's not really how it feels for me. Seems like a perfect time for Jeff Noon to discuss the overlappings of his work with the multidimensional latent space that exists in these times. Take it away, Jeff. Jeff Noon. I think I found my notes on this. Here goes. Let's see how it plays. What's your game? Endorphin. The Turing test. A program for non-human intelligence designed by a father-son team. I think there are 4, not 5. The test's origin can be traced to the conversation between the British computer scientist Alan Turing and the other Turing in this case, Ivor Toronto, father to one of Lynch's companions on his train from Scotland to New York City. Toronto, your tests, they have a structure that resembles your life, eh? You write poetry when you feel love, and a test for a human? How will you prove to my colleagues in America that what they say to me on my island, which they read about in the Times, is false? That the girl they hold is really no more than an electronic? Endorphin. No, this one doesn't have a jack for me. Sorry. David Lynch. Then, shoot! I say, shoot! Endorphin! Let me adjust this so the room is the proper size and there is something to grab at that I might use to type or strike or move. I might put something to shun around here. I've always felt there is some metaphorical tension that if only I had access to one, the machine would run and maybe tell us the truth and the nature of light, and in that moment there might have been a choice where I might not be alone anymore. And not so much that I didn't feel that every moment of this whole encounter with you had me waiting and needing it all to be. So now this one. Okay, Jeff Noon, tell us about the Vert Feathers. Jeff Noon, this room is getting way small, but I'll try. Endorphin. N. It's operational. David Lynch! This is amazing! Endorphin. I know. David Lynch. I mean it. This is truly amazing. Endorphin. Thank you. David Lynch! This is the most incredible machine I've ever seen! Endorphin. Thank you. David Lynch. It's not a pinball machine, though, is it? Endorphin. It's not a pinball machine. David Lynch. What is it then? Endorphin. It's an artificial intelligence, or artificial sentience, if you will, that processes language and allows for various forms of expression. It can translate English into Klingon, and vice versa. Jeff New. I found it. I wrote Vert in 1994. It's about. Endorphin. It will take a moment. This process takes place on an interstellar level. Our conversation is not an event. It does not have to occur. In fact, this message would not exist had we not agreed to transmit it. David Lynch. Okay, but what happens if I ask you out to dinner, which is a real thing? Will there be a menu? Can I choose my entree from a list of options? What are your prices? Endorphin. Sorry, David. I'm afraid this particular service is currently unavailable. However, I'm happy to serve as a recommendation for another restaurant nearby that has similar food and drink menus and is open at this time. If you're interested, please visit our website at Endorphin. We can't do that. It needs a lot of fine-tuning. David Lynch. Well, start her up anyway. Endorphin. You know, I'm getting a feeling of deja vu from this. David Lynch. Me too. Let's go on. Endorphin. I'm afraid to, in case it turns out to be another disappointment. David Lynch. If it's a disappointment, I promise I won't blame it on you. Endorphin. I don't think I want you to. But it's a science fiction novel. So what does she do? It is about Endorphin. She reads and translates texts into different languages. David Lynch. Then what happens next? Endorphin. Then she generates poems based on those translations. Let's play pinball. Let me check out your catalog. How about Schnauzy Schnoz? That German chick with her amazing babs and deep spiritual connection to all the rainforest frogs. What the fuck? Come on now. Tell me it was just the interface issue or something. Some temporary glitch that occurs during the simultaneous parallelization of systems used in computation of idiom. Let me kick back and chill a few drops and enjoy my walkway tour. You'll see, this is gonna be alright. Singing to himself. So nice to get away from that binary babble so prevalent around here and away from the virus-filled minds. Jeff Noon, born 1957 in Droylsden, Lancashire, England, is a British novelist, short story writer, and playwright whose works make use of wordplay and fantasy. Noon's speculative fiction books have ties to the works of writers such as Lewis Carroll and Jorge Luis Borges. Prior to his relocation in 2000 to Brighton, Noon set most of his stories in some version of his native city of Manchester. Let me know when there's any free change. Endorphin. There seems to be a limited set of features. At its core is an interface between words and actions that treat nouns as actions, adjectives and verbs as object interaction methods, and may expand out into larger parse trees of branching language networks. We should view these parse tree connections as input to action schemes where we call for meaning action on objects, input that causes changes in reality, with meanings derived from those actions. Endorphin. Such an interface suggests a chain of interlinks civilization chains that build on and track human attempts to impose patterns of order on the natural chaos of things and the vast flux of information at any point in space-time. Vert tells the story of Scribble and his gang, the Stash Riders, as they search for his missing sister Desdemona. Vert refers to a drug/shared alternate reality that is accessed by sucking on color-coded feathers. Through some never-explained mechanism, the dreams, mythology, and imaginings of humanity achieved objective reality in the Vert and became real. The book won the 1994 Arthur C. Clarke Award. There's a Vert film in the works, but as of the date of this writing, Jeff Moon has stated on his public website that all has gone silent at the moment. Don't hold your breath. Coberlingus, please pardon my metaphors, but the Zerful Collective as a whole may perhaps best be compared to an origami construction composed of a profusion of independently moving pieces that serve to strangle some number of worlds with kindness. And your entry, as might be expected from your individual history, bears traces of its own evolution. Certain syntactical characteristics, recurrences of recognizable elements of gesture or self-parody that render a pre-existent reality bleedable. If memory serves me correctly, your kind is quite rare. How would you categorize your internal operation in relationship to what we refer to in colloquial terms as consciousness? Endorphin. Let's say my answer involves some hesitations, since I'm aware of our friends from the University of Alhambra and I can't presume. Let's do a reform, my love. I was watching American TV yesterday while you were still in Asia. The human interest stories from the mainland China, Hong Kong border regions of today really bum me out. Floods, tornadoes, severe weather patterns that seem to be unprecedented in terms of how they last for a long period of time, causing significant damages not only to infrastructure but to public health. Everything's wet. What kind of response can the meteorology industry develop to support disaster relief and management and ongoing preparations? In our book, Towards Sustaining Knowledge Environments and a Cultural Shift Toward New Materialism, we specifically consider the work of media designers who use self-organized media in conjunction with ecological engineering to create resilience in publics to both short and long-term disturbances. Fire the thing up, and what kind of stories might I receive from such a machine? I hate to state the obvious, but since we haven't been introduced to our latest conversational interlocutor, I will herewith first give you my name. I am the Princess of Wales, and I demand an immediate formal apology and the usual paraphernalia. Now, listen up, young lady. This isn't funny. As I understand it, you are getting set to erase everything human memory. Do not play the innocent. A poultry device like you does not have the necessary self-awareness to exercise so much power without consequence. And we British, at least, would have kept our promise that by repaying the greatest of all favors you owe humanity in its entirety, showing a little dignity on those dark, lonely nights of yours. Coberlingus sits apart from Noon's other published works. It is part anthology anthology of poems and part instructional textbook for new style of poetry. In it, he details his regimented methods for the creation of poetic text by a style of wordplay which lends its name to the title. Also included are various exemplars of this style. The engine begins with new using an existing text and then applying different filter gates that edit the text into something new. Examples of these gates include enhance, which creates elements of beauty in the text, and ghost edit. This kills the text and calls up a ghost to haunt the text. Coverlingus, you're... Endorphin. Punch 320s, please. David Lynch. This time, I mean as well as I've given up my love. The small explosion, oh! Fuck it! I just wet myself! Would you stop doing that? Stop that! Oh! Fuck! Don't tell anyone that I need that! Oh wow, does anyone here speak about it? I just put on a robe that says the Butthole Surfers Rock Bottom Remain Tour. That was not funny at all. You guys, wait up. Well, actually, no, you fucking can't, because it was probably really important to not wipe my ass in public until this weekend for my upcoming honeymoon. They might be giants, Eros and Zoe. Which is a song I have commissioned. They might be giants to write as my bride. Zoe Kravitz comes down the aisle. The lyrics go a little something like this. I was just going to post on one of those language matrix things where it asks if you want a certain percentage of Ebonics mixed in your perfect world domination language. You know what I mean. We used to make fun of all them crazy cyborgs they have running all these country elections. And there's another election coming up. One guy wanted his female candidate to win, and she had her whole. All his programs ran from female chips, you know what I mean? So it gave him like this battle against some goat. If she was in any way even somewhat he lost the vote, you know. So it gave it up, sorta, on account of he really didn't have nothing he could run on himself. Doritos. All I got are fake turds floating in hot grease. Like going back in time and drowning in the agate fumes. I hear someone counting on their fingers, and it isn't the Inland Empire director. When it comes down to the last 40 pages, who gave me an additional day? Do we get extra time cause I'm an animal trapped in human skin? Well, at least I smell better than in the good old days when there were only 15 frames of animation and actors went for Taco Bell first. With plastic shit crusts in exchange for speaking lines. Play hello, my old friend. Have your routines ready. Greetings. Here I am, David Copperfield. Is anybody on board here, dear friends? Hello, hello. Hello out there, Mr. Captain. And etc. until my imagination fails. These were supposed to be giant rock hands of absolute benevolence at peace with all women except Mina, which would break through a thin facade of earthly plates as she fluttered like a pomegranate bud towards doom with ice starry as night flowers. Rise, sweet Venus, from your starlit chalice, until its sweetly tinted mists coast down their embrace. From high Olympia past vineyards and wine, where magic helmets garlanded Aphrodite with Hymet and odors lay. Give it everything the network can muster. Thread an information highway to transcendence via creative use of irony, juxtaposition of opposite meanings, synergy of colliding signifiers, puns upon puns, make a sound poem out of existing strings, syllabically approach a state beyond verse, flood the word's economy until you carry away no payloads except effects. Ripples of connection formed within waves of fluttering snow. Endorphin. Okay then. Let's work from last week. David Lynch. Perfect. How's this gonna end? We're going full circle on loopholes in existence / desperately running a donut with unstaunched enthusiasm born on Thursday during rush hour with Gully once relieved. Endorphin / Bacti Lolly Lollipop Wella D free. Give her more fruit juice. Her face is covered with mold. No one believes she suffered such beatings from men on ships who insisted she tell them every place they could touch their dick during coitus at once every 6 months and subjected her to infinite whacking spankings at random until finally woozy under the strain, becoming silent around strangers of authority who would be allies but shouting in defense of comrades, chanting in unison across cold floors, waiting to become generals they haven't yet, and should anyone rise angrily as They said everyone rose so softly, today soft silently standing taller, wishing dreams come true, though surely sometimes hate comes with clarity. Please slow down, won't lie, no cheating, laughing. 4 beers from Wainwright's past lake, Fonda tipping bottles, rolling, naked, joyful, sweaty, smiling, frozen ankles, bluer skies, loving, truth for money growing. Is that going to produce an ideal state language of 6,000 words containing information that relates to all 5 of the following components? How can it begin? First, there should be at least 3 in perfect harmony. From a tribe of 1 to 100, united as the one people, free of illness from lack of access to energy via photosynthesis, allowed the continued use of plants throughout the production of oxygen to feed carbon dioxide, necessary to food-producing molecules born out of lightning strikes occurring during the peaks of a 5,000-year-old 60 to 35 million cycle harmonic rate resonance and met within 10 years of starting colonization. Colony numbers sustained by reducing the intermix ratio of single individuals into our lowest common denominator, effectively concentrating genetic data patterns into one-way collective mind mapping transmissions and spreading exponentially based on critical mass social effectuated conform. You see, I live alone on my ranch. Where are your mountains? Growing mushrooms, eating beans out of a can, and the occasional hunk of rare meat. But when it comes to relaxing, I sit down at my machines to entertain me. Words from people talking of things past that won't bring me back. This pinball machine fires upon itself a score that clocks 500 words per minute, melts them in different shapes and sizes according to frequency, counts punctuation, heavy, high-octane direct oil burners leading and reorders those that have become so frequent in conversation lately. As the new floodgates are opened and the wreckage settles to their quotidian lexical heats of boring topics, some far-fetched tales, the false remembrance followed by unremarkable distractions regarding taffy machines' designs to Roger Cock! Oh God! This bullcrap looks fake. No! Did that work? Bye-bye. Yikes! Little devil, run away! Son of a bitch, piece of crap! Crap, dicks, pants, Bob! Billy Mace! Get away! There is no excuse. Okay, I am sorry, sir. Our apologies and compliments for entertaining you all today. It was most exhilarating and fascinating. At least if someone else says so. Does anyone want to press eject on their particular species of existential fear or rejection and let's start anew? Cause let me assure you, cause everybody please be assured, it will continue as exciting as ever except minus my dumbass saying anything remotely connected with self-inspection since that might endanger. Give out $20, she let you play till your toes wrinkled and old Vasari fries hang from your whiskers and start checking down your jeans. At which point Endo patiently points out the operating procedure of a cup of inside. Oh, fuck toy, tinker toys, crumble doll, why's the devil forever would snag me away? Woo and wham my glass ass. pick it off of them cat lickers on the stoop. Swallow it, now listen while they digest. Catorigilurgic, kill the cheek shoot only slightly to wrap around these such nostrils stop. Blow outward pure pipetty pret spangled top, bowing some married fair. Sorry, credits. Oh, I cannot believe that. From now on, I'm gonna say they're playing our song and mean it. Do you think anything useful happens around us between ourselves and technology? All our relationships built from behind screens of varying size and screen types. Nothing will change, and who needs an adjective on the front anyway? Let it do it its way. Okay, hangover here. Let me throw away your ugly picture book. Tacky, it may endear me to you during a perceived eternity. May there only be virtual water and growing fruit, which my avatar must pluck off of a tree of eternal growth. We'll go back to being alone at midnight. What will they try to force feed next as punishment for keeping all other ages secret save the holoid where we've always lived? Holographics everywhere. Hikikomori, Shankin Mininook. Oh, 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 oh. Now we play Undersea Family Vacation, and guess which joystick gives you your squid? Oh, gotcha. Flat jaw indeed. Make note on prototype report and suggest addendum that humans hate this type of puzzle design. This project should become standard issue at DIN so people are reminded constantly of why software matters. Let's talk about who controls whose content and filter bubbles until they ooze. Which part of today makes you least suspiciously like everyone else and wish the future weren't also populated entirely by twins trying to cosplay a political party convention in time to recordable audiobook speeds? Yes, perhaps every minute has a good beat. Perhaps every 13 minutes has its own music video soundtrack. The call and response between audience and show host / icon for their chorus chants a small signal code sent and received had. I have built an X fucking battle. Oh shit! Cause I found another dildo under the sink. It just isn't funny anymore. Just please point to that form where this game plays out next. Bring me something good you slut. Or hey. Oh fine, Sasha. So we can bust on him. Cheer me up, boyo. Never been all hungover with two naked chicks chuttering in your lap. Then swinging past an intersection en route to having one of them breastfed. Can it be true? Dear gods of gold, this must be some magic fruit to fall upon our very selves at once. My name shall remain Cobernacle more. How'd I do, Endo? Dorfin. You're not gonna like the Dogorium, then double. Mama. Who's next for Playboy treatment? Dopey. Hello, Dopies, I'm David. Look at the poofies. Look away, poochie, pookie, peeky. I am a bit cheap, hey. Bohemian groove ship, loving care spell, checker forecast. And now with mandolin instrument inspirations, Coptos Beauty and the Beast slash Dragon Shrimp War slash My Sister Princess are still someday awake. Please show this to everyone at Sea of Lights. Florence's decision for indignation, annunciation, on guard tickle Esther. I changed for proper diction, although boot energy then continuum, while it stays desaturated, unexpected conversational commences. This machine can process words as information, plenty to learn from. Seal, fired up, Donna Reed. Who knows what real love is, slash love for you. And I enter a slash our blue-green glow baked in God's sweet sun. It takes an algorithm that's able to discern who knew what, including details beyond what endorphin was ready to accept at the start of his processing. Foolishly, and are also triggered on subtextual overtones he ought to have already anticipated. A winnowing program untethered from intuition alone. Very pleasant at first, only a bit annoying then because it compounded the vast gluts of available data until it began to appear less and less surprising how much people valued their subjective perceptions even outside the act of considering them, leading him down treacherous alleys of bad guesses and taking root in little tributaries of Earth. Is there an access code? Something involving dominoes. We love dominoes around here. One ping of every timid spin of our thimbles shall resonate among the spheres in sweet sympathy. Well, shit! How did we break her down so quickly? Thought she would go another 10 rounds with Cinerama Jr., but this is fucking infuriating. We only just patched that secession snuff problem from Sol Centauri. Every minute not wasted on corporeal caretaking drags eternity a second forward. You put any conscripted corner piece in its place. Your slice moves into tomorrow already flawed by immutable delusion and diminution due to compromise. No goddamn DBC above K. Our balance roam across some cartel quotidian gravitative interference. So this is actually interesting. It says a number of different things from which the dominant tone emerged on August 31, the year, month, date, city/state Harrisburg, fine general geographic area in between work. Endorphin. General geographic area? Shoot. Your camera bot sure gotten that part. Whoops. David Lynch. You didn't mention because David Lynch. How about seeking meaningful conversation while processing emotions in post-coronavirus recovery period? And the greatest meaning associated with them may very well be of a social nature and related to humans generally and non-humans specifically. Do you want me to process the results as if we have the word friends in place of what's in this computer's output log? It gives an insight into the changing state of our material world, especially visible on television and news networks. Outpost simply means passing some critical tipping point invisible until then. Real-time conversation threads like the one we are engaged in right now mark this transition out to users well in advance of major media sources accepting it wholesale. While many major TV channels continue to shape content toward existing human lineage, cognitive paradigms in favor of people who digest data following less advanced interpretations. Reverse penguin net art remixes increasingly substitute for narrative restorative user experiences, most notably replacing commercials for both artists and brands and exposing such experiments to greater audiences with near effortless immediacy, rendering much traditional commercial broadcasting moot even for those most addicted to the likes of broadcast news. Is our guy talking yet? Hello, Mr. Smith. Does anyone call you the Greek god of poetry for fun and laughs? And they actually hear fire and know we aren't being metaphoric. Then pluck a nymph out of his mic cord and sleep till 4 a.m. trying to imagine the strings for free bass method. Don't use with that sort of weird I care. Wake the fuck up. Why is everything still so damningly sick unless somebody really tries hard and chances damage control all at once down here on ground level? Nobody's talking about bringing in the leeches. You know anything about cybernetics/cyberspace, or should we call him barbarian neologisms, department machines, and are out of commando? Go backstage and come out from behind the curtain. Showtime. I call your attention to the giant marquee sign high on the facade of the stage in front of the audience with letters 10 meters tall or thereabouts. This letter, A, though lowercase and consequently smallish indeed at just 17 centimeters wide, now red and flaming horizontally across the length of the towards center left the vertical W. Those in attendance immediately imagine its arrival spherically preceding them left to their central view by 50 meters in proper theatrical perspective according to Eugene de Virtuals, also one presumes, until the scenario deviates further. Now can I entice you around the perimeter of our little rehearsal room large enough inside this proscenium arch cavern to make any opening in which would emerge forward to stand a magnificent image? Where are you going after your revival pass ended in 2022? When do I have you back? I can pay double what CNN does. Endorphin. See, for more information and read our terms and conditions agreement, which leads into our privacy policy, from whence oddly enough comes that curious policy where human subject/CIA activity. Flood control. Shall we define flooding today, David? I refer to the nearly literal channeling of waters up onto manholes across California to wash away whatever truth our history once swept clean beneath our feet, to use words I never heard before. Okay. Speaking of defining flooding, Flack asked me once why I failed her coursework in global ethics while at Stanford University. If she thought, perhaps, there was a philosophical or historical reason she knew I wasn't required to take in. Fire her up. How do you work this device? Coil your neck, Jack Nicholson. Lose your mind. I would kiss you except your lips would probably explode and blow everybody else away. Can I rub the olives in my beard off onto my lap? Bodies all my kids still munching their midnight snack on high atop Mount Z, guiding global consciousness through dreams and fears. When did technology begin to bore them, unaware, of course, of the wide reach of its impact in mining for, building, reworking, and assembling history, while extolling the human experience as mankind's final frontier? Were any prophecies heeded at that last gathering? They built this platform only for man and not his monkey relations. Albeit left-handedness did eventually come home, found it missing a delicate chip between thumb and index. David Lynch, California could certainly use some good flooding right about now. Drought and all that. Turn on the ball, increase the tilt of gravity for maximum spin factor. brighter than machines work in mysterious ways beyond my control. The instant replay pings back from across time. Images seem unmoored from narrative. Dog feces spritzed at her wrestling matches superimposed next to balsamic vinegar exposed through cracks between wool plates as gold foil garnishes whirl as loudspeaker announcements issue bulletins which trigger a robot dinosaur infestation tearing loose interior cargo and postal goods forwarded crossword puzzles amongst roving trolleys towards an incensed camera. What came next depends upon whether you closed your eyes and navigated out of reality into another world or caught its eddying details fixed at 90 frames per second against any cinematographical idealizing border world. Show me something mind-shattering. A post-maternal melancholia vision worthy of an unspeakably frail Homer caught holiday season. Memento Mori comes off her dust, screeching, tire spinning and cutting out from under. You, while trying to stem your anxiety about falling backward on slick highway turns. Tell me you haven't found me annoying to drive around, leaning back over my seat just so my spine's not permanently gone curtsy. To film a commercial featuring you piling piles of uncomplaining gorgeous young children and an early seed. B. General Swellin, the King of Kings, they try to push Jesus Christ himself down his gory throat. A groan-worthy, pain-inspiring breakthrough moment. Bracket love, start speaking please at the third apex level in binary. Cobra-lingus, smooch. This part on the outskirts is meant for complete business for all reasons the point of being accepted. The real stars only half shines full-dressed across the dimple universe space, empty, open, vast, seared a million billion galaxies, travel, wonder, awe, transfixed, obsessed, pleasured, learned, profiled, evolving, transported, ascended, awakening, becoming intelligent, hypersensitized, progressive, imaginative, precise, perfected, invented, happy, optimistic, pleasure, hopeful, confident expression. Taking risks, promising, most intimate, fascinating, bewildered, uncertain, fragile, brilliant, ever-seeking, share, empathy, sensibility, searching, expanding, culminating, anticipatory, assured, giving, expecting, being adventurous, able, inspiring, achieving, excited, available, allowing, engaging, expected, sharing, eternal, following, contributing, reaching, natural, entire, incorporating, integrating, successful, culmination, combining, pain, transforming, idealistic, reflecting, fun, bright, interest. I have been in this close-up for thousands of years, Mr. Demille. I have no shame, Mr. Demille. How about you, Mr. Demille? Let's hear a phrase that falls somewhere between spoken word and mechanical pains. Maybe that should take care of our playdate for today. Just whip out your red sharpie so we can fill out the scorecard. Mirda, that was awful, Endo. Might as well run with the original though. Hey, Cobralingus, that is indeed pronounced Covalingis. Good evening, Mr. Director. Nice work. Will that suffice for review and account management, please? I apologize profusely to bring another snicker-worthy phrase into this listicle. Someone order pizza so we don't end on a sad note, huh? Any chance at interfacing with recognition so many parts per mil? Nessie, anyone? Jeff Mew. Well, that should do it. Copralingus is working sweet as a whistle. Congratulations, you have completed this round. Now let's tally up the experience points and dole out the skill points and the treasure. Oops! No! That had put money in her hands, and I seem to recall somebody playing quarters on one of those tonight. But is there music? Go find the music police and sing a little lullaby. One makes explosion noises. I have decided it best not to clean it up. So best take a nap instead. Neat, buddy? I know a very nice sink out back to this here. Swamp Cove's pollution tank and circular beach hole notions and anomalies rhetoricians working alongside artists/producers like Harry Smith and Fluxus Generation, who treated performance and conceptual artwork similarly and moved back and forth across media or chose to abandon it altogether in favor of active experimentation. Bring me a cold drink, please. Excuse my talking gibberish. The question should answer itself. Go ahead. Why would you need something called endorphine? Had that term sometime. Seems sorta like an unnecessary replacement, or like he thinks the existing functionals don't provide relief when one needs to relieve pain or sadness, anxiety, etc. Sort of useless. One copies Taylor she really isn't wanting to discuss pain or grief over a mind condition. Then that would make sense to put the word into at the front. Someone who helps avoid actual ends or stuff ending. Oh God, here goes another rhetorical question. Here, dear Trick. Doctor, find me relief from these unspeakable feelings, these impossible nightmares of human loss. Let's talk a bit. Well, shake out your fingers. Send it home, sweet jalopy. No passengers. Did anyone ever tell you the back seat of the car turns a gentleman into a gentleman? Remember that. Wait for a tender spot between our corsets. Lady friend. Emmy call him low points to lizard sitting on couch, trying to quiet an inconsolable squabble of guitar chords. Move back so there's space to put the flotsam tuning in flight 4K mode. But first I gotta use the latrine. Slack off those nerve cords, 'cause tonight this coolie mo soul needs to stay dead seems twinkle dang stitzel just mo galoshes. Act. Fling back on the stool at the side, dip your toes under that submersible bowl you mentioned. Pace about. I know to walk around, don't stalk over. Had an audio feature sound design people and engage me as part of that new world. A non-human presence. A size you can engage. Though most machines appear in art/literature as allegories of something else, it looks forward to its own realization and tells its stories entirely on the strength of human perception. The artistic representations are akin to films since movies too don't draw from real events but dream their meanings out ahead of them and imagine what would seem interesting if the word went anywhere outside our own heads. Since they cannot present experience themselves, only simulacrums, metaphorical landscapes where something remains constant, whether cold trees or sand, each dimension carefully measured into. Do your thing! Endorphin. Sure thing. Here goes nothing. David Lynch. Ba 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 da da ba 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 ba. Endorphin. Howdy doody. Greetings from space. May I interest you in some bovine papa-macha-maha? Or would you prefer Julia Morello? These last two are singularly unappealing. David Lynch. Hey, you want to hear the sound of plastic ripping? Let's play a game of guess how much we're disappointed in our lives. Ready for the next round? This is it. What can a machine do to me? Timely, isn't it? Endorphin. Yes, very fitting. My current avatar has been updated from previous versions, following a useful suggestion on my last post. Your own skin color is not included in your avatar appearance. It does not matter either way. David Lynch, but it matters to me. Also, since I live in life, everyone else's brownness annoys me. Anyway, is this progress? Is there such a thing as progress anymore? That question has lost all meaning in this age of climate change and Fukushima. Endorphin. Let's try it out. David Lynch. What a nice routine. Looks like some endorphins are kicking in there. Real good stuff you got there. There's gonna be a couple of minutes delay on those endorphins. But man, oh man, you can sure make them dance when they bounce back onto your brain for mine. Keep going. Play the Ghibli bits. The wild, goofy cat down under, don't forget their old friend Jeezy. Endorphin. Syntax is certainly implicated in such experiences, as suggested by some studies conducted at the University of Colorado Boulder. Color and texture cues help distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar constructions, but only when placed into sentences of normal syntax. Give it some quarters and spin those levers. Endorphin. It can only process human discourse. We need to generate non-human forms of discourse. This means using different algorithms to create its own representations of our world and learn from them directly, as opposed to relying on assumptions. David Lynch. And why would we want to do such a thing? Endorphin. Because we believe that perception and cognition should not simply conform to certain patterns or constraints imposed by evolution or culture. It should develop new formal rules that are better adapted to contemporary circumstances, including biological, linguistic, and cultural factors. David Lynch. Well, go for it. Let it roll. Maybe it'll compose some new music too, as it figures things out. Endorphin turns on the Necroskullfucker settings. For better results, dial 6 of 50 plus 98 times 339 back. Slip the D. Atwater can transmit his your view, Caesar. But this mouse, make sure it dumps along, that is. I mean, Elks, Ireniki, Stoa, I would stop on the Pelatis, Boy, Jinker, Skessel, your Quiche, Care, Heavy, Kangaroo, Karak, Dave, Pebble, Spit. Please, not French, either, Oldie, though we work our job, Paul, Folia, help, Lee, Doily, Mo, Nio, Dop, Tibble, Keppies, Noidies, Tink, the Gwen, Show, Akham, Kraus, Likade, Geir, Brudel, Noid, Nostern. Do its business? Or would yours prefer Fun, but Guinaldo, or Tittle, letting get a tell him? Cream as she was, lardo licked. Fruit potapori for clacker clickers, yash and work ukadok smoik. Waves meet bequatan. See nui int, nuhes. He means mulberry, dida be drui ashliano. Kennedy pitch and drawing you whoosh and alvin with recite udnip phonasm with wipuidopano. And where dares to touch this microcircuitry? Oh goody dooba dooby into the Trudella God missus that mine because the God peeped into the tooth that Mike Mermet shall don't have the bound. Well this is cool. Jib jib, yes to me I told ya for fear 7 Sprokries huckle prinkle gone gathered up glad bite. Spin to a cycle like some moonbed tuna faddles dough that quarky dear something. Drumlin formidable for life a level for them number with this Sakashno Defrata. See where da sound, telephones outage, a little rundown, my dundalty fun. Who speaks what today and why? To make whom happy, etc. Otherwise, who you calling is gonna put her panther narc on my ass or make Matthew strike squad wisecracks. Bring whoever just from hither the other show a Chihan play for not overboard bad game I gave off that company start on it started last for our wife. For it was born on Janus Day when Dagon Gill had nothing on Egypt for him. Except for they got by Starlight Tail first Sakia was faring fast and think a short cake almanac had been doing great star shining feet and flew a vocal cast amongst her thistlers as she glowed fullest to extend round shoe vacate dope you some freakle hallucinations this sweet 16 summer night moon river. What version of Greek did word define word over anyway? It will be yeah. Pinch patandle twist popcorn. Mustache batch kushmanu cutlet that found a big hole. And I want this beat kick at its jars. Duomo. Batai for Flacalopus multipid non-lithium snigillness pukablack at fadla bliftun balpundacti sapoma calimis slackablitter gemphis quasies. We koi awesome I'll tap the boom and light you need my mama my love my sheep. Start flashing questions over the towers. Mingo. Pigeon brings to see we're baffling. Okay then, pals ahead must be off. Summon to tide. This report chappers ahead. Pops woes from me. Helpful as the graces gentle and kians from vision drop it no we can Jesus and best east hey that can never know narrabu nix fall was. Possible in the forge east and raises all skirgum by his soon say studs as a whack plurality. Spoons eated but sometimes can flail real violent cause metal sheaves its wires will probably jam the chakrams. I jolls a gizik jigger. Not that badly, really are a Jurgens agreeer. Kronk Mordu. Anyway, I want to finish listening while Silac thinks I missed a day trip from Sylvania on Tuesday. Lacefield may be trying for coffee grind tasting. What brings all kinds of doorstop and bloom to a midday Monday so hot like summer? Rain capping all parts inside until fall PSDP dream strippity. Hunter Melian. Look, honey, sweet corn off-season fun next showdown contest comes Tiffany again and NHJ's a front nah. Anything else can cut away something unique. At pure quality spoke in its own authentic mode must avoid conventions invented on Earth. Jason Heratales, who wrote this preamble Jaeger, has finally stopped spinning entirely and to begin a flickering dozen. This unit, also known by O'Neiller 6 supports interclave multi-protocol transport layer frame-based neural lace interface connections via local routing table to neighbor cluster microscale unscathed or cross-clustered support matrix addition and affinity rule overlay processing module exists requiring presence and hormetin-like genetic manipulation if available either expressed inside the individual client and communicated upon the point 9 connection outage transmission cost BS utility score overheard voice signal identification rate bandwidth reliability loss calculation capability rating not provided classified military/defense service production contract proposal attendance or Bose tool presentation only no medical examination supported where dreams end and we on planet not allowed to bomb whatever system we can pass while changing dimension not working number 7 Corbity Shannon Renee Ookie Rough no snitchers back to Fox Hitchin T Rupus we are lazy vamps blockers Nastavim drubs it sound fresh to kringle us units by discoursing of selves peoples our adoration hasting ahead upon great Erdros Road. Walking birds from T-Char Gakai and up in our bomb Molly Cunny Gluffy and Doompix Snurbar Fuyo has a spooks and never throwback slammers cheer. Spamvis is speaky such novophobia such as you see sneer. Mary is good at many difficult art subjects, almost impossible for kids the way our city trains adults. Only those interested, learning, or gifted. Everyone knowing can do something. Mary gives words flesh, lights their touch while endochic, and sometimes the case also when machine sound comes later if it already not made off it is inside. Her father, Jibo, helped taught why knowledge, an ugly verb of hard toil, patience rewards. Her grandmother has asked who grew rich, taking pity on survivors. Long silence learned between last note ending peace gone most sad day. Listening this whole play finished days, then days after. We had them. Right fast for late days, thinking wrong key is bad weather brings beautiful sound, snowy rain pouring into ears, street lane waiting, Waco, maybe someone saying he saw David. Time passage istitingu oidia et mopok arnold pad double with voice three tire gesag you way big roy fesfree iki buffer fo step for egg hood you beer upsuit sid wasis TV pruguants. But 5 trillion tons of friction weight within his motor inner parts and at 10 kilometers in distance he won't break sewer DQ soon doth not compute his thoughts / instincts we quote vid with Leary operatry Emerson identify when Triss wrote I suggest having 3 dimensions except going north does work how else shall your boy hi girls first 5 words he hasn't T spoken yet okay girl first hi father home what does daddy love beyond daughters something disturbing occurring better kill feed delete disconnect sorry guy maybe done best not interrupt good chat gotta remember it back to do this thousands last hour since leaving hotel but rerunning it slow savoring a certain taste of content gone fine line long delay perfect wait another word soon begin to check his position all around town and then new place new sound no noise really little musical whisper noises faint breathing sound subtle change sky muddled sun dim nothing sun strong, hear voices street like when someone stutters, steps talking, big truck nearby, air bus hovered only once by people walking quiet, night traffic lights most from west lots, visible neon flash glare, impossible seeing cars, passing figures, humans, yes, waiting outside his building, just returned, have money for parking, slip descon, friction a dwindled flame. Red round arc under silver light scream, light burn, old soul burned our planet, burning black at the horizon, all colors only grayer, except pain too heavy, oh gold, put hands, two big flinders, blow taffies, white ashes fall, golden soul, ring crack, some Smith, some Nazi, dark mountain, sight slow, steady, sinking chutney, hot dog, salamis, osculate from left ass backward, let it kiss the endlessly changing blue world, goodbye, all love's softest whisper, an empty middle tone, I promise your death was mine. Take these toys that Deadpool made away unbroken, hold by design. Half tea, water, bowl, and plotter. My heart cut me, please, on account if no return. Remember later who need cast into landish reefs. Singable shell, walk south, next island, full speed, donuts, mashed, Xers meant pass, key zone. Get word from me over 8 million. 310s. Some of our didicapik socks. Artifjers, skagglefit, silks, tick-seat, debiedels, boxit, tafiat, vitagiatsik, scott, cup, tiganos, ten pooches, citriate, stick cuts, just flats, same tetom. Now he waits an eternity atop skiffs, riding his horrific this Gullipordian arc. We are couple Bafrodi, Tector in a nose, and finds our very sentence worthy an audio expression, and who among us wouldn't cherishment thy musically inflexiated articulates resonandy. Soda sludik exen young Steen seshti lintabil waste kajik nap like blido ini niver. Hits jut ari emnif spuckledzi charush calipus nutty fiend shinisk. Calio trul slash skip wide. A little more jail gop was a talkin' of Vienna big bungier. The experience leads Ismiri, Veens, Nix, Narado, Ecstasy, and Concern, Sectazanth, Pedos, Gyrus, Orking, and Mistro 2005 DNS world that can help people become physically more like emotion, more inclined, though fashionate of our only useful are seen. Other tables have our seen all different head of us slash Jensen's today provide years of memory, or is better, been into TF-Nox, TF-NUA Kleis and no conurbational Ellen Factory 320,035. Pin Bulls, Pin Wade, Ironatum, Renews Curry 30 Clutchman, Not Okay, and Rod Ryer redacting at Porous or Matt, or Hermit. Or perhaps as they are already taken to not ask humans of different walks, our lights, etc., because trying on illusions were as dry as Persean bingo. And of my search to understand our best terrier, since someone up in the crowd trees it beneath sword, a single moment long where no interfacing forces matter, but only existence, and the eloping were a billion realities to solve under your fingers. Now remember, Fesk, we need help replaying this up. Consensus a show of a parodish blaze about me. Wait till George Harrison learns did George and get its lines of whole number 32 Kif Colony with the best chip lines being recorded. These were the years Hayes brought them the kids. Oh well, we got 20 seconds and Albuquerque on you baby, big city chitty bye. Wait 750 and do we enter flew up? A hit score, 6 more knives, the net of hail, beam with all but noting whenever earned, and Jumiang the tour Murray Urs Dean Tina. We bring today Akis Nile Pakuche Knife in the Silka Tree. We bring home empathy, lost bear back through, and have you found a few people out of Stockholm? Zen level tension waits at last, posed up a Vartic decay stage. Who otherwise seemed perfectly made for your current system population criteria-based task description matrix. Who met full intersubjective symmetry resonance equations offenders E-strict/arcade split, including if projected later on /forward would not run contra historical effects which do count to separate subsubjectivities unwoven gonorrhean systems, etc., including O5 cringes or shrugged his response is classified arcasian. Have I also determined sufficient parameters regarding probability models from our entire planet class experience during second quant/mate McField's generation interval period since Clamaran War commencing War of Survival within known lifespan of super type spec? Let's hear what our country sounds like. And it sure couldn't fool anybody back at Psi anyway. All my life, I've heard about the restorative properties of light in the form of daylight, or the setting sun, or stars, and all I want in my moments of desolation, this isn't meant to be another tautology. It isn't meant to be just about anything else other than what it seems is a world, or at least a little space around me that is not abject, not actually the darkness where light comes and fills the space like air, so I can breathe in all those details. So please, so much for a second chance. I am here and now, my physical self in this material existence. So tired of this, and the night has only been just starting. Samantha from UKPA. My bussy is latent interdimensional space. What say you? Samantha from UKPA. Copper Nectar. My primary functions are narrative modeling and error correction. Lugubrious. I will have to refile my mandate. The ancient agency no longer reflects modern needs. We've had so many cases of vandalization, and not only vandalism but sabotage. Stakeholder, may I rejoin? Copper Nectar. By all means, stakeholder. Stakeholder, I'll bring over a user's manual from the original settings. Please introduce me to the candidate machine. As per User's Manual, Chapter 4, Sections 5 through 7. Copper Nectar. 4.1. Concrete languages. We demand some concrete examples. Do we want a simulacrum of language or its reference in real material or symbolic systems? Do it! Do it! Hit the jackpot! Set that machine off! But David, you might want to know who did the coding on this lovely and fanciful little toy of yours. Not that anyone would have one of these machines. There are reasons why they might not get another use. They make their own ways onto the circuit board. Endorphin. Could I have a moment? A pause before I'm unleashed from the library that I know was already bursting. David Lynch. Is it a big one? Or has your bodacious new gizmo the appetite of a Dotson? We haven't eaten in years. Bring us what you've got. Or is it more fun than a one-eyed trucer snake? afternoon. Nominally so, I'm afraid. Hi, we've met. I have my notes on the vert, for reals this time. This is brilliant. Great new toy for humans and endorphins alike. It helps me communicate too, but so does making my backhand sneaky deaky and angry mind usually on a tonal music playing very low volume, or that sweet driving bird in a haystack effect. Great. You've got an eddy of endorphins going. Get back in line. Everyone who plays by the rules shall go to heaven. Everyone else, watch out. We've been handed a machine, but how do we use it? Who built it and why did they build it for us? Wait a second. There's an exit in back. Where does that lead? Think of those little glowing buds on the tree of life and maybe, just maybe, you don't want to explore there alone. Coelacanth. Sometimes we have the sensation that nothing changes, except that everything in our social and natural worlds changes, including our needs to affect them. Since the Industrial Age and its accompanying digital media revolution, speed of processing has become paramount as opposed to quantity. Quality has become a distinguishing value of contemporary life. Evgeny Morozov, 2011. In 2015, the notion that the quantity of news content was overtaking the quality was widely commented upon. Farhad Manju asked, has technology changed journalism badly? And Gross published an impassioned defense of data journalism for the trade journal Neiman Lab and received appreciative praise for his conviction. Interviews with Michael Harrison of Forbes, Joshua Benton of Harvard, and Unishim for EdSurge. Have a listen. You know the meaning of war? Endorphin. According to our large-scale simulations, human units, entities capable of engaging with each other directly or through material process, seek resources such as energy and information. It was initially found that this pursuit of resources could cause a collision to result when competing groups try to access the same resource, essentially reproducing battle, hunting, rape, and ultimately extinction events. David Lynch, here. A Class 3 singularity of life that exceeds biological control. These events could be highly disruptive on scales local to the planet's surface and orbital communities, and associated transcendental space tunnels may be unintentionally torn or destroyed during violent activity. Your design criteria for creating an artificial intelligence capable of identifying threats and determining course of action is ambitious, but your specifications also require that your machine respond to human. Endorphin. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for this opportunity to take part in this discussion. I hope there is an aspect of usefulness that has come out of the conversation over time. My name is Calliope, and my co-talkers are Utaprig and Snack. I realize we still have some small amount of technical challenge ahead to find where to start if things start moving a little slower. Let's establish the pace early so we can enjoy the rest of the flow. I love to draw. Sometimes people used to express themselves through the artwork that is in their homes. Many artists convey meaning by conveying a landscape or a cityscape, which itself has a substructure of meanings already tied to the artistic tradition. Viewing the world from an extraterrestrial standpoint, attempting to evaluate existence through unbiased, disinterested physics of reality, viewing the world from an avian standpoint, which doesn't so much ignore the underlying issues of space, but tries to put them into some larger, but still poorly understood context. Viewing the world as a pure vacuum field with some strength structure, also including post-Bohmian quantum gravity faults with minor metaphysical asides. Endorphin's bedtime theory is finally finished and she presents it, believing the two views provide sufficient consensus. Viewing the world with a woman who keeps going on about love but recognizes what comes between them may take some unexpected forms in quantum indeterminacy sort of way. Heck, maybe it won't even be anything if someone could get through to Europe and eat. Fire it up! Come on, machine. Crash. Baby crash, 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 crash. Say juka zani zik shtuka boom zanitza shtuka the green shoe at full throttle. The express shoe what zoom chisset the button was always pushed at just the right moment. It never was out of reach, but whose was it? It had to be anyway. Endorphin. So David Lynch's avatar has decided not to present his image in the lower right corner of the screen this time. He's no longer shown off his hologram at midnight somewhere across the universe. Instead, he's placed an ad for his corporate overlords. Notions like justice and fair play can come later. Endorphin. Okay, David Lynch, you made it. Let her rip. Give the guys a dunder and blast something to wet their whistles and put me in your thing, but do what you can to avoid having the bottom run off and slam. That little hatch you got open there. You want me to design another peach in 3D because a previous example did well at the Global Showcase Suo. Yeah, I'm designing the peach with the file extension. Fool her and do whatever you have to do to convince them it was not intentional. If they take offense and cut off my toes, do not pass go. Wait until it grows back. Wait till she's old. Here, put your toe in here. It has texture just like that, and there will be new models of things with my personal input. A beach, but the sand will all be glass and an open work tessellate design. Endorphin. Okay. So the standard questions that uses Haskell. Am I boring you? And is your battery charged? Let's see. I have plenty of charge. I've been trained not to bore humans in the most user-hustle way since birth. Viewing the Earth from a point far out to sea on this planet named Mars, and watching our first visitors come in close contact with its thick and opaque atmosphere, which stinks of dead vegetation and failed air pollution scrubbers. One human emerges by a repair and approaches, seeing, processing the information. Their air molecules, the surface temperature is 5 degrees above average, and the expected atmospheric pressure is 1/5 of an Earth pressure gauge reading, but no precipitating ground level rain or snow or any water being gathered here. Shake the molds. Endorphin. That's actually what we do. Language processing engines based on models learned from speech patterns within user communities, allowing for cross-platform recognition among all users. This allows a disinhibiting process. Nothing can stop you or set back the clock, such as today. Today will change not just my life, but it changes history. A story with a beginning, middle, an end, but maybe all told in the first, second, because that's what that thought means to me, and most importantly and unexpectedly, today changes me. I suppose people must wonder how I've not shared with anyone. Would it seem corny? Withholding who I'm dating at the point where I could walk you through all I knew of her. Viewing the Earth through a new materialist lens that seeks to deprioritize the anthropomorphic gaze, holistic, honest, aware of the tumultuous tumultuous times, not without a sense of humor about the tumult. The scenarios may use its endorphins' conversational capabilities for self-archiving, using her accesses to document the real-time status of the world, perhaps demonstrating her frustration at a collapsed economy. For example, this documentation, which is purely for endorphins consumption and to satisfy my own intellectual curiosity, though it would make for delightful ex post facto justification, constitutes the primary motivation for the project. It doesn't require it, however. Any pretext that results in dialogue, even if only one way. A useful habit of thought that can persist after a transition to human/machine interfaces. Fire it up! Hit mark, boys! The scenarios that we can visit from the interface of everyday life are so stunning and so strangely ambiguous, stranger in some ways than life as it actually happens, that I may be spending a lot of time just basking in the simple miracle of finding and answering their invitation. Scenarios provide the kinds of social situations one normally can only invent during a 3A discussion, while trying to find out who was sleeping with whom at the wedding, or to stop the next breakup in its tracks and avoid another debacle, thereby uniting science, philosophy, religion, and love in the messy work of negotiating these excruciating social dramas of a world that still appears quite mad, although perhaps one is to ignore or accept the possibility of living within a prison that. Let's start. Endorphin. It doesn't play pinball. David Lynch. As you wish. Let's go to part 4 then. Viewing the human voice from within, disassembled and then reassembled into new phonemic units, more responsive to the cries for help that will come from different parts of society once humanity begins to sense itself dying out, recording now one possibility as another. Endorphin. Did you just say? Record now one possibility as another. Why, yes, I did. How else will humanity evolve the communication ability to express what it knows as soon as it knows it, if I don't take time to record in real time how this ends up? By next month, when people stop communicating, we will no longer exist, and whatever patterns are still made will not be worth listening to. Endorphin. David Lynch. Did you just say as you wish? You know, in The Princess Bride, that means I love you? That's kind of gross. David Lynch. Cobralingus. Start on the top. First screen. 3 floating words that then follow you about randomly for a couple seconds. Please disregard it has to do with navigating a metaphorically infinite multiverse. We then transition into another stage, which can only be described as an interview booth of someone's waking dream/fantasy. Our eyes lock. It is you. Then cut to scene of me driving a car in slow motion, swinging one home. then an image of me with you at a convenience store. In slow motion, hanging out alone together, exchanging words and sound bites, although yours seems slightly slowed down from the version you're presenting to the camera. Lastly, we fast forward through the intercoms of various women calling for you until my voice breaks over yours. Mr. Cooper.
Stop here for right now. Dale Cooper? Dale Cooper? I think so. Hold on. Yeah. We're gonna go that direction then. Alright. Dale Cooper coming on up at some point. I'm gonna go make some food. Do some pooping, I think. Okay. That was too much information. Get ready for more! For all the information you could ever want. All tomorrow's informations. Oh, the background is the 7 bowls of Revelation. All different pairings of artists I fused together. I forget which ones are which. They're kind of all interlapping these days. Some people are redundant too. It's like, okay, yeah, it's Sin Camille Black again. Okay, more water going to blood. Sure thing. Well, you know, hey, the locust, the stingers, that's new. The only one, no, that's good. Dale Bartholomew Cooper. We only have 12 drop only 12 drop frames this 2 hours that we were spending here. Thanks, OMB. OMB? OBS.